You hear a branch snap outside your tent at 2 a.m. Your whole body goes still. Your heart is suddenly loud in your ears. You tell yourself it's nothing, but some older part of your brain doesn't believe you. That reaction feels irrational. It isn't. It's a memory. Not a memory of your life, but a memory carried in your body from a time when the sound outside the tent almost always meant something was actually there. You probably assume the scariest predator your ancestors faced was a lion, roaring somewhere on an open plain. But the real answer is far stranger. The animal that shaped human fear more than any other didn't roar, it didn't chase, it waited above you, in near total silence. And it was already gone before you knew it had been there at all. In the 1970s, a South African paleontologist named C.K. Brain was digging through a cave called Swartkrans, sorting through thousands of fossil bones belonging to early human ancestors. Many of the skulls had strange paired punctures near the base, two small holes spaced exactly apart. For years, people assumed early hominins had been killing each other with weapons. Brain thought otherwise. He tested his theory using the skull of a modern leopard. He pressed its lower canine teeth against the fossil punctures. They matched perfectly. The killer wasn't another hominin. It was a leopard, dragging its prey up into a tree to eat in peace, away from scavengers on the ground. Leopards still hunt this way today. They kill quietly, often at the neck or the skull, then haul the body straight up a tree trunk, sometimes weighing more than they do, using nothing but jaw strength and momentum. There's no warning growl, no stalking silhouette on the horizon, just stillness. And then it's already too late. Why does this matter more than the lion? Because a lion announces itself. You can see it coming across open ground. A leopard does the opposite. It hides in exactly the kind of place your ancestors needed to survive. In trees, near water, in tall grass at dusk. It turns safety into a trap. And leopards weren't alone. In 2006, researchers Lee Berger and Ronald Clark re-examined the skull of the famous Taung child, a 2 to 3-year-old hominin fossil discovered in 1924. For decades, everyone assumed the child had died from a fall or an attack by a big cat, but the damage on the skull told a different story. Talon marks, puncture wounds, matching the grip of a large eagle's claws, the exact pattern seen on modern monkey skulls killed by African crowned eagles today. That means one of your earliest ancestors, a small child, was carried off into the sky by a bird, not eaten by something on the ground, taken from above, with no warning at all. Put those two discoveries together, and a picture starts to form that most people never learn in school. For millions of years, your ancestors were not the fearsome hunters at the top of the food chain. They were small, slow, and constantly being eaten. Not occasionally, regularly. From the ground, from the trees, and from the sky. In 2005, anthropologists Donna Hart and Robert Sussman published a book called Man the Hunted, built on exactly this evidence. Their argument was simple and uncomfortable. Humans didn't become human because we were the best predators. We became human because we were, for most of our history, prey. Think about what that actually means. If you are constantly hunted, survival doesn't favor the strongest individual. It favors the group that watches each other's backs. It favors the ones who can warn each other fast, who share food so no one has to forage alone at dusk, who build shelters and keep fires burning through the night, not for warmth, but for light. Light a leopard won't cross. Light that keeps the dark at arm's length. This reframes almost everything you were taught about early humans. The image of a lone caveman standing triumphant over a dead animal, spear raised, is mostly fiction. For most of human history, standing alone was closer to a death sentence than a victory. Safety wasn't found in strength. It was found in numbers, in proximity, in never being the one who wandered too far from the fire at the wrong moment. Have you ever noticed that fire still calms you, even now, even with a locked door and an alarm system? That's not a coincidence. Leopards and eagles weren't the only threats stacking pressure on your ancestors either. Crocodiles lurked at the exact watering holes early hominins had to visit every single day just to survive. Hyenas hunted in packs after dark, capable of cracking bone with a bite force strong enough to shatter a skull outright. Even other primates weren't safe from each other. Every direction held something with teeth. There was no version of daily life that didn't involve risk assessment running quietly in the background, all day, every day.
That kind of constant pressure doesn't just shape behavior. It shapes biology. Researchers studying vervet monkeys, close living relatives to early primates, have documented distinct alarm calls for different predators. One call means snake, another means eagle, a third means leopard. Each call triggers a completely different survival response: climbing, scanning the sky, freezing in place. That level of specific shared communication about danger is exactly the kind of pressure that could push a species towards something resembling language, long before anyone was forming full sentences. Even human eyes may be shaped by this. Look at your eyes in a mirror. The whites are visible, unlike almost every other primate whose eyes are dark and hard to read. Some researchers argue this evolved so early humans could silently track where a group member was looking, spotting danger together, without making a sound that might draw something's attention. A whisper made of glances, instead of words. Fear, in other words, might be one of the most important tools that ever built a civilization. Not weapons, not fire alone. The specific, shared, communicated fear of something watching from above or behind. So the next time your pulse spikes at a noise in the dark, or you feel the hair rise on your arms walking past a tree line at dusk, or you glance up out of nowhere at nothing at all, that isn't weakness. That's inheritance. That's hundreds of thousands of years of ancestors who survived precisely because they listened to that feeling instead of ignoring it. The ones who didn't listen didn't get to have descendants. You are here because somewhere back through an unbroken chain of parents and children, stretching back long before recorded history, every single one of them heard that branch snap, and every single one of them took it seriously. It's a strange kind of comfort once you think about it. The anxiety you sometimes wish you could switch off was never a flaw in the design. It was the design. It kept eyes on the treetops and ears tuned to the grass long enough for a fragile, slow, clawless species to somehow make it all the way here. So you hear the branch snap outside your tent at 2 a.m. Your whole body goes still. And for the first time, you understand exactly why it should.